Hey guys, welcome back to Snake Limited. I'm John, and I wanted to take you through a tour of my new snake room as of 2023. I've had several iterations of this, but I just got done kind of moving everything in here, so I wanted to give you guys a tour. As you guys can see here, it looks completely different than it used to. We still have the tortoise down here. That's kind of a really good spot for him in this big tub. We still have the mice over here along this wall. As you can see here, my two different mouse racks. The Tegu for right now is in here while he still fits inside of this. We have the incubators over here in this corner. There's some more space there on that wall to add any additional racks, whether they're hopefully not rat racks. These two rat racks here should probably be enough for me. This is probably going to be space for hatchling racks, or these 4x2s that I have here. It's possible I can move these back over to this wall here later in time. Then if I need another hatchling rack, which I might, I can move that over here against this wall so they are with the rest of the snake racks here. So, you know, we have the mice because they're kind of the smallest, less stinky rodents, and they actually don't have any outlets, power outlets on this side of the wall coming here over. They kind of stop right here. Tegu, incubators, free space, and then we have the rat racks. Now I used to have these flush against the wall, like most people would do their snake racks here, where they'd be back against the wall like that. But I moved them back to back for two reasons. They actually take up less space because, as you can see here, this room is like a big, huge, giant square, and I always had like a ton of free space here in the middle. Especially when these racks were pushed all the way back against the wall, flat against the wall. So I decided that in this space, now this is about 500, 400 square feet or so, that I needed to start building out from the walls instead of putting everything flush against the walls because I was running out of space. The other thing is, because the food hoppers are in the back of these racks, Isla here and Scout, when they come in, they can't actually eat the food. And it kind of stays in the back there and it's hidden. So that works out for two good reasons. Plus, I also have the water line. I have the water line coming in the wall here. It runs along the I-beam, and I have it kind of fed through the top, so they both get water fed through there. Back in the back here, this rack used to be over here against the wall, but it was kind of unsightly, I felt like, when I walked in. So I actually kind of hid it. Plus, most of these have their own lighting, so I thought, you know what, I'll just put it back there. It has a bunch of light. I actually added one of the ceiling lights up there. The boa used to be in the bottom, but the boa actually did not like it down there, so I actually moved her into one of these 4x2. I think these are 15 inches tall, and she has actually preferred that. I see her coming out a lot more now. She's eating more regularly now because of that. The rest of these are empty at this point in time. And I actually put my rat snake down in there because the rat snake, they're actually from Pennsylvania. It's a black rat snake. And she loves it in there. She crawls around up and down all the time. I don't know. I actually need to get a light for this. I didn't have one originally. Oh, she's actually down there. That's good, because she actually is typically... Hopefully you can see her here because it's so dark. She actually goes... I have this heating element up here. She actually sandwiches herself up here between the top of the top of the screen and the heating element. But she's actually down here today cooling off. As you can see her, she's actually getting quite big. Let me pull her out. She's actually really for a colubrid, usually has a pretty good temperament. She loves to kind of climb around. I would say she's probably about 3-4 feet at this point. Not a musker at all. Not a biter. So she actually usually doesn't try to kind of run too much either. So she's a really cool snake to bring out. I like to show her off because she's one of those snakes where I can show everybody that, hey, you know, they live here. They live here in Pittsburgh. They're native species. So the rest of this design, I wasn't particularly fond of it at first. However, now that I've had probably about 2 weeks to work with it a little more, I've actually started to like it a lot more than I used to. And I'll kind of explain to you why. Alright, so as you can see here, you can't really see anything, which is kind of one of the reasons I like it. I kind of call this the library bookcase way of assembling the snake room. So I have the hatchling rack. This is a 1065, which I think I added 1 or 2 extra rows on it, which I have kind of facing forward. And what that does is I have the 55 series on this side, and I have the 70 series on that side. And what that does is it kind of blocks right down the middle where all of the cords and the thermostats are. As you can kind of see, it's hidden in there, and you can't see any of that stuff. And it also fits very well here because the 65, the 1065 is a lot thinner than the bigger racks. So it kind of blocks off all that stuff. Plus, this is where the majority of the snakes are on rack, because there are 70, I think, snakes in here, or 70 slots. I don't have 70 right now, but there will be at some point. So it's easier to kind of have them kind of up front. And I was able to fit the rest of these racks so that, now this is my 70 series. I think I have 35 in here, 35 or 40. And these fit perfectly against this wall here. I can show you, let's see. Let's open up Montana. She's gravid, so she's going to be laying here. These open up almost perfectly. I have enough space to open them up against the wall, and it gives me just enough space to do what I need to do. And setting them up like this, as you can see, there's a nice gap between the wall and the back of these racks, all the way across, all the way down here. My issue was, as I was feeding, especially the live rats, every once in a while, you know, when you had a snake that wasn't feeding properly, these guys, I don't know, I'm sure if you guys have fed rats, you know that. Let's see. Let's get some older ones here. Here we are. These guys are pretty acrobatic. And if you don't catch them on the first try, they are gone. So when I had the racks lined up all the way back against this wall, a rat would get back there. And when I had all 4 of these racks against the back wall, there was 0 space for me to be able to pull them out quickly and get back there to get the rat. So I ended up having to put like traps on that wall, on this wall, and back behind these, so that they would run along the wall and go into the trap. And I didn't want to have to keep doing that. What this allows me to do is it leaves a nice gap between the wall and the rack, and these aren't too deep, so that I can actually reach back there or even move them out a little bit. Unfortunately, these I-beams are really low, but these racks, I have enough space where I can pull it away from the wall, and I can get those rats if I need to, instead of me spending half an hour of my day where I should be feeding snakes, and instead of that, I'm chasing rats around. So it gets rid of that. Now, this aisle, these are 5540s. This is nice because, you know, I'm not super tall, and, you know, I can't see into these ones. I can see into these ones kind of from up on my tippy toes. I just have a ladder back here, pull it out when I need it, and I can get into all of these tubs that are the same height at the same time. If you didn't notice here, I also got my new banner from Vistaprint, which I'm excited about. I finally got it in and was able to hang it up. I can also hide the extra tubs up top, and you can't see them from here because the I-beam covers them. So it makes it a lot easier to get in and out of these tubs. You know, I can open these up. She's a leopard, fire, pastel, clown, 50% het pied, possible OD female here. We actually just named her from somebody on social media. Her name is now Sandy. I can open these up. I got enough space here that, you know, I can pull them out all the way and not, you know, bump my knuckles off the other rack. It just makes the whole process of husbandry a lot easier for me. If I had a long rectangular room, I would probably keep them so that they're all against the walls, as most people do, as I'd had pretty much done the entire time owning snakes. but because of the space I have and the space I'm working with, because it's just a big, huge square, I was wasting a lot of space by having all the racks just lining the wall. And I ran out of space. There wasn't space for all the stuff in here. And as you can see, I still have a decent amount of space here in the middle of the room. And that's with all of these racks in here already. I think I added, what did I add? And I still have this extra backup rack here that I use for quarantining snakes in another room, but it's not in use now because I haven't purchased anything in a long time. Everything I had in here took up all the space along the walls, so I had no way to grow in this space. Doing it this way, especially having this rack kind of floating in the middle of the room, it created a whole nother free wall that gives me space for another rack. And that's kind of what I was looking at doing. I don't know if I'll ever grow past what I need here, because these racks aren't even full yet, the adult racks and the grow out racks. I don't think I'm gonna need bigger than this ever. And that's kind of my goal, is to keep it small and produce high quality stuff. I don't think I'll need more than that at the very most. I think the one rack that I will buy will be that new ARS Mini, I think it's called the Mini 130, because that'll give me space to put the hatchlings that won't be grow outs, won't be holdbacks. I will be producing them, feeding them for 2-3 months before I get them up for sale. They get sold and they should never have to leave that. And it gives me space for 130 snakes. Hopefully I won't need more than that in the future, but if I do, this rack, I only have, let's see, I have these 2 I'm holding back, this is a hold back, these 6 are all for sale, this is a female that I'm trying to get back on food, so she won't even stay in here. These are little blood pythons that are eventually going to leave this rack, and then I have, I think, a couple colubrids in here, like 3 of them. So like 75% of this rack is still free space. So I still have tons of holdback space. I'd probably say 60 slots in here. So whatever I produce this year can stay in this rack for almost a year. And then I still have, let's see, I have 12, 13, 14, 15 plus 8. So there's 23 in this 55. I think there are, let's see, 5, 9, 13 in that one. So I have a ton of space in the 55 still for, you know, smaller adults and males. So I have tons of grow out space still. So I'm hoping I don't need any more 5540s or 7030s, because I still have space in the 7030 as well. And that's it. I mean, that's the snake room. I'm very happy with it. You know, from right here, I was having trouble putting up these banners. Obviously, this is my old banner. This is a new one. I can stand here now, I can make videos, I can show people, and I can still showcase the banners while we're in the snake room and looking at the snake rack. So that's another kind of cool thing too. So I'm really happy with it. It's actually made working in the snake room easier, having them set up here like the library bookcases. I can set the ladder up, sit right here, and when I'm doing water, I can just go over to this side, over to this side, over to this side, over to this side, back and forth, instead of having to kind of, you know, pick it up, move it over to the next one, move it over to the next one. It just makes life a lot easier. And I also don't get ratties stuck back behind these racks where I'm chasing them around and wasting, you know, half an hour to an hour of a day kind of chasing them if they do ever get loose. It's not a big deal, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it just kind of ruins the morning. So that's it. That's the remake of the snake room. I honestly probably will not be adding anything else in here unless I need to buy one of those Mini 130s maybe at the end of the year. But this is it. It's kind of built the way it is, and you know, unless sometime in the future I'm so successful that I need to get a bigger facility, but this is all this room's going to handle for now. So thank you guys for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.